Hey everyone, this is Josh, the Wargaming Noob, back with another project, Combat Patrol. This time around, we are going to look at Combat Patrol issue number 2 and how it continues on from the first issue that we just reviewed. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to take a look at the contents of the magazine. All right, the main thing that I wanted out of this magazine is the 3 Von Ryan's Leapers. Obviously, you're going to get your 3 bases. And again, this is the push fit, so these should just slot in. I'm going to glue them to make them extra strong. I'll zoom in just a little bit. This is what was included in Leviathan, the 2-player starter when 10th edition launched. So everyone that has that already has this. I'm assuming the main difference between this sprue and the release is that there may be more options available on the retail kit. I can't confirm that, but I'll put a blurb on the screen if I'm correct or not. So there is the sprue. And then the 3 bases. We have a push fit set of Von Ryan's Leapers. The other item in the pack itself was the magazine. So unlike magazine 1, which had dice and the 2 leader figures for the 2 forces that will be built up throughout the course of the first part of the series run, this is pretty much all you get, Von Ryan's Leapers in the magazine. So we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at the magazine page by page. I will get this out of the way. All right, so here we go. Again, your Hatchette Paperworks information and just some notes here from Rich, who I'm assuming is the editor. You have in the first part of the magazine the build portion of how to assemble your Von Ryan's Leapers. All right. Again, all the instructions here. There's a how to paint. I'll kind of tell you some information. And again, Combat Patrol as a magazine is geared towards the new hobbyist and new wargamer. A lot of this information is not going to be useful to veteran players or hobbyists, but the main thing is get somebody interested in Warhammer, and this is probably a good way to do that. So base coat, shade highlights, and it says models for all painters. There are painting guides available, technique guides, and then you got your lore area. So kind of just goes through, you know, the different types of Tyranids specifically in this issue. And like with the first magazine, you get the ability to kind of randomize or make unique your Von Ryan's Leapers. You roll your die, and based on where it ends up on the table, you'll either be the Invisible Terror, the things in the walls, the Whispering Ones. You can also name yourself, name your unit yourself, and then there's a checklist of your progress on building these models. Okay. Here's the data sheet. We'll zoom in. All right. And then Tyranid units using naming tables. You know, you can also kind of go through that. Named. I guess you can roll to see what you get out of these 2 tables here for the name of your unit, I guess. Okay. All right. And then some more information about the Tyranids. Intro concepts, multi-model units, attacking with a multi-model unit, being wounded as a multi-model unit. So you're kind of learning how, because in the first issue, you only had 1 figure on each side. And now moving forward, you're going to be introduced to larger units and starting with the Von Ryan's Leapers. Next up is the Mission 2, Predator and Prey. They'll show you how to set up your Captain and Terminator armor, and you'll be facing off against Von Ryan's Leapers. Right. Here is an example of what happened during the demo of this particular mission. And then that pretty much ends the magazine. Yeah, it's not very long. It tells you what happens if you have a Space Marines victory or a Tyranid victory. You have your wound markers that you can cut out. And then we'll get to a close-up to remind you. If you do finish the series run, this is what you're going to have completed by the time the magazine ends. So that said, I think in the last video I was saying it is 8 combat patrols. My correction is that it is 9 combat patrols that you will end up with if you complete the series magazine series run. So next up, here's a preview of what you're going to see in issue number 3. You're going to get a unit of Infernus Marines as well as some tokens that are specific to mission 3. And then in issue 4, you're going to get some paints. So you got McCrag Blue, Barrack Nard Burgundy, Wraithbone, and then a starter brush as well as a magazine. That is what you're going to get in the next issue. That is issue number 2, Von Ryan's Leapers. I'm going to go ahead and assemble the models. We'll talk a little bit more about this particular release, and we'll go from there. All right, here they are, Von Ryan's Leapers, all built up. They were fairly easy to build. I do have a complaint about the sprue. Some of the numbering was incorrect on the sprue, so I couldn't build the first one that was instructed in the magazine until I had completed the other 2, and then just used what was left over to complete that model. So that was kind of weird. I think I recall that was a complaint initially when they were released. If you guys remember that, go ahead and comment below. But other than that, they were fairly easy to put together. You really just had to figure out how to push the components in. I had a little bit of a hard time, adjusting it, but I got through it and it seems to be okay. All right, so that's the Von Ryan's Leapers completed. This is not going to be as long a video as the first one because, again, I did an overview of what Combat Patrol is and what you can get out of it. With regards to issue 2, I think this is a great issue that introduces to the new player in a very slow manner the concept of multi-figure units and how that works. So that's good. You only have 3 miniatures that you have to paint, so it should be quick and easy to get that painted on the tabletop. With regards to the factions, I believe I've chosen my Space Marine faction, and that is going to be the White Templars. Very easy paint job. I wanted to go with almost a vanilla chapter because the variety of units that will be coming out throughout the series run of Combat Patrol lends itself well to specifically Ultramarines, but to any other vanilla chapter that is out there. Because if you look at Dark Angels, if you look at Space Wolves and Blood Angels, they have a specific look to them. They have a difference in their battle plate. Like the Dark Angels have like a wing aesthetic everywhere. The Space Wolves obviously are more animalistic, but the units that are being released here on Combat Patrol, which are initially supposed to be Ultramarines, can be any vanilla faction that doesn't have all that unique look to their battle plate. So I wanted to go with a vanilla chapter that can utilize all the units there, and that's where I'm going, is the White Templars. For the Tyranids, I'm really on the fence about what I should do. I was already painting up a High Fleet Kraken Tyranid army. I'm of the opinion that it would be nice to maybe paint these as Leviathan, only to go along with how a new player would assemble and paint their Tyranids. And obviously, High Fleet Leviathan is the High Fleet that is specific to this release. But because I already have High Fleet Kraken being painted up, I might just go in that direction. I haven't decided yet. That I think once I film the missions, the first 2 missions, that's when you guys are going to know whether I've chosen Leviathan or Kraken. So we'll just leave it at that. But at least for now, I've chosen my Space Marine chapter, and it's going to be White Templar. We're going to have 3D printer pauldron insignia, and because that's going to be a little bit more 3D, I'm going to print out specialization insignia, like whether they're battle line or whatnot, as well. That way it kind of matches. All right, that is it. Uh, Issue 2, Combat Patrol. Great way to learn about multi-figured units and how they play in Warhammer 40K. Again, a great unit to start your Tyranid army off because there's only 3 figures, so it makes it easy as a new player and a new hobbyist to kind of keep up after painting their winged Tyranid Prime. In the next issue, issue 3, we're going to get a unit of Infernus Marines, and at that point it's starting to progress. It's starting to go further in how you learn Warhammer 40K in 10th edition. So all right, that is it. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate it if you would. Click the bell notification icon to get notified of all new Combat Patrol coming out of the channel, and then click the link in the description below to join our Discord server. That's the best way I can personally interact with you and chit-chat you about Warhammer 40K, Combat Patrol, and anything else that I cover on the channel. That's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Project Combat Patrol from Wargaming Noob.